Welcome to the overtime session of the State of the Community event. While we didn't get to all of the questions that were submitted by our members, we wanted to make sure to take the time and ask those important questions of our local elected officials as we dive into the issues that are most important within our community. In recent years, we have seen a concerted effort to expand the scope and operation of our airport. To that end, we have seen a consolidated effort from our congressional delegation to request earmarks for much needed investments. How do you see the airport truly becoming an economic driver and regional asset?
Well, the city is close to investing nearly $30 million over the last 5 years into the airport. If all goes as planned, over the next 5 years, there could be an additional $90 million worth of support, the city making up about $20 million, the rest coming from our federal partners. So that partnership with Congressman Adderholt, Congresswoman Sewell, with our senators is going to be very important, because those congressional appropriations will allow us to hopefully have a new terminal, improve cargo areas, and expand other aspects of the airport. I do believe, though, we're at a decision point with TCL. It's under municipal government, and most major airports in Alabama are under an authority. Right now, the city loses about $1.8 million a year operating the airport. That's not a sustainable model moving forward. So we hope to engage with our community partners, knowing that it's not so much as certainly losing the money is something you do not want to do, right? But the other part of this is, what could it become if we were all working on this together? Not just for Tuscaloosa County, but in fact for our whole region. So I'm excited about that. And thanks to Elevate, we're able to make those investments, and whether it's a new terminal, the runway extension, more areas for cargo to be placed. If we do all those things, which we're in process of doing, then the commercial possibility takes care of itself.
The Tuscaloosa National Airport can be an economic driver for the area, especially as commercial air service is offered, and if we expand cargo operations and research and development opportunities in concert with the University of Alabama. The airport probably needs to be under an airport authority, and because Northport provides much of the water service to the airport, sanitary sewer at the airport, and industrial park, any improvements at the airport and surrounding the airport need to take into consideration the additional cost of providing water and sewer to any new expansions or developments that come along.
Well, I think we are on the cusp of seeing some real movement that builds on what's already been invested at the airport. Our national airport, which the city of Tuscaloosa as the operator, has made steps that are solid to start expanding the possibilities at our airport for runway extension and all that. There are a couple strategic needs that we must get solved for our airport. One, we need a new tower. That's got to happen. It's got to be modernized, it's got to be taller. We've got to get that figured out. And two, of course, the terminal. The work the Chamber Group has been doing and helping come up with a plan for how to maximize the opportunity of the airport, I think will continue, and has really built a base to reach out and start talking to funding partners. This year, it was one of the top county priorities and letters of support and primarily Congressman Adderholt. Congressman Adderholt's district has expanded in Tuscaloosa County with the recent redistricting. He took on, I think, approximately another 19,000-ish voters. Don't quote me on that one. But it was significantly more the way the redistricting worked, and he and his staff have worked to really build stronger ties with our community here. And I can speak from the county perspective that we've had a relationship growing with the team there. The airport's a beneficiary of that, but having kind of unanimous support as a top priority project in the community for infrastructure improvements at our airport with those federal dollars, we see the results of that. Now, he put in for a good bit more money, as did Congresswoman Sewell. Very thankful for both of them that would step up and do that. That gets carved up in Congress, but we still have a sizable investment available with federal dollars that'll help us take another step. I will add, Senator Tuberville had an earmark request. That's all still in markup. I'm not sure if we'll end up getting any of that once it gets through the slicing and dicing of Congress, but he stepped up and tried to get us some design money for the tower. Senator Britt has been an advocate, and I know she tried last cycle. So there's a lot of movement, and I'm more encouraged than ever. Now, I will go a little further with that, because it's one thing to improve the airport, but there's infrastructure around the airport. So your Metropolitan Planning Organization has already got a project in conjunction with the city of Northport to improve the roadway between downtown and going to our airport. We have improved the fiber that runs to and around the airport as part of a project the county was working on in collaboration with the city of Tuscaloosa. There's a lot of things happening. The last thing I'd like to say about airport is I think we need to diversify what we're looking at. We talk a lot about passenger service. There's a lot of challenges with getting there, but there are other opportunities we can be developing along the way. Our enhanced cargo services. I think we need to do some research and development in conjunction with our airport out there. The economic development piece of the puzzle here to create more uses would also include maybe a maintenance facility, some type of aircraft maintenance. Having one of those is a great revenue source for our airport. So you diversify that a little bit and you bring some other opportunities together, which gets us further down the path of a good profitable airport operation, which gets more investment at our airport. So I think we're going to start seeing this, and I know the county has been very supportive of trying to reach out and get partners help and funding for that.
The Tuscaloosa County Road Improvement Commission, TCRIC, was created to provide oversight for the prioritization and financing of public road and bridge construction and maintenance projects. There are several projects that are completed and or currently under construction. Could you give us a brief update and then discuss potential next phase of priorities?
I've been part of TCRIC since day one and certainly been very pleased with what we've been able to accomplish. This entire community working with our delegation. And we see it right now under the construction of McWright's Ferry Road, which ultimately will be a $79 million road project that's going to create a lot of growth over the next 50 years in North Tuscaloosa. More importantly, it's going to create a safe travel way between North Tuscaloosa and downtown and the entire city, plus give us another access across North River. The next big project for the city in terms of its involvement with TCRIC is going to be the what we call MLK Jack Warner Phase 3, and that's opening up the 2 trestle bridges. Right now we're still waiting on approval from Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railroad. As I understand it, we are at the finish line and need to take one more step, but it's a slow, arduous process. With a little bit of luck, we'll get under construction in 2025, and so that project would be completed in 2027. Back to McWright's Ferry, we expect that project to be completed sometime in late 2025. But you asked a very interesting question, what are the next steps? Once 69 South is complete, and as you know, that project is being debated with AlDOT in terms of what should its overall scope be, we as a community are going to have to come together again and define what should be the next tranche of projects for the next 15 to 20 years. I'm excited about those discussions. Certainly in the northern part of our county, Northport experiences, they need help. I think there's growth opportunities in the east part of our county. So I think we've got some opportunities to do something good, not just for the city, but the entire Tuscaloosa County community.
Might mention in advance that Northport has seen tremendous infrastructural improvements over the last 4 years. It's been amazing what has happened and how many miles of roadway have been paved and will be paved this year. In terms of TCRIC, Highway 82 improvements from Watermelon Road to Highway 69, Lurleen Wallace, are currently underway and are to be complete late summer or early fall this year. Once completed, there will be increased traffic flows possible on this segment. Northport believes that the Highway 82 project needs to continue westward out to Rose Boulevard in order to fulfill the project listed in the legislation. Currently, there are intersection improvements under design for 82-43 intersection, and this project is badly needed. Highway 69 Lurleen-Wallace is also a priority project listed in the legislation. The section of 69 from 5th Street to 82 is currently under study and is needed as a way of helping prevent pedestrian deaths in the area, of which we have seen too many in the last 3 years. Highway 69 going north to the city limits is also in need of additional projects or intersectional improvements. The intersection of 69 and Union Chapel was improved. It's been a great asset, and I would need to look at other intersection improvements, including 69 Charlie Shirley Road and 69 and Martin Road.
And to keep it brief, the Road Commission it's kind of a unique creation. Huntsville and Tuscaloosa are the two similar entities that were created for the purpose of matching local dollars with state and federal dollars to accelerate the pace and increase the amount of road and bridge construction here in our community. So back in approximately 2016, House Bill 600 was passed, which outlined 7 priority projects for the community and created the Road Commission. One unique thing about the Road Commission is we don't run projects. We are not project engineers. We're just a funding vehicle to take some local tax dollars and maximize and leverage those with those other dollar sources. So we have 7 outlined projects. That's all the Road Commission is able to do at this point. Now, for example, improvements to Highway 82. Well, that's, that can be pretty broad. So what's Road Commission and what the state's already doing, that's part of the work that we do at the Road Commission. Some of the projects would be Road Commission, some of them are not. One of the challenge, we've made a lot of progress, Jack Warner Parkway, Martin Luther King, that was a City of Tuscaloosa project. McBride's Ferry, that's well underway right now, another City of Tuscaloosa project. The county had 2 projects, 2 pieces of one project were completed a good while ago. The ALDOT had some projects. One project that we're still working on with ALDOT, and it's a major project that is very important to the community, is our 69 South and Skyland intersection. This was an ALDOT project managed and designed by ALDOT, 2 state routes coming together. But when this was conceived, putting some local dollars in the mix to try to get the best solution for that intersection, we're still working on that one. It is growing about 2.5% a year, which is a very fast growth pace being maintained over a number of years. It's pretty high growth for the state of Alabama. 2% is pretty normal for a growing intersection. So it's just going to accelerate, and we really are trying to get the best long-term solution we can with the state of Alabama for that key intersection. But went to redesign because the costs got very high after all the inflationary impacts and COVID things that we've dealt with, and ALDOT took it back and said we're going to have to look at this again. I'm not sure quite yet where we'll be. I think the collaboration with ALDOT is very positive. We're going to end up with a good solution down there. It's going to be a whole lot better. Just don't know quite where that's going to be, and those dollars are still a little bit of a question there. So I would say those are the main topics that are underway with the Road Commission.
How will the continuing evolution of artificial intelligence and technology in general impact the city and county government? What investments are being made now and looking into the future?
Well, we see it at the city in terms of what our IT budget is today versus what it was even 5 years ago. And so those investments in technology, maintaining those technologies, having cyber defense systems that protect your technology is going to be key. Where you're going to see it for us probably most noticeably is going to be within the Tuscaloosa Police Department. We have just proposed to the City Council a $1.2 million expansion of our Cyber Intelligence Division, in particular a drone response program. One, we're going to consolidate all the drones in the city under this division within TPD. But it's more than just having drones. Most corporations, most institutions have drones. We're talking about using drones as part of an overall response mechanism. We will have 4 locations, 4 pods across the city in an emergency situation, or even possibly in a routine call. These drones will be deployed out on scene, provide real-time video, real-time information while collecting data that will be used in terms of the response. So that gets to the next part of the equation, the data. Artificial intelligence plus 6 additional analysts that we will be hiring within TPD will take all that data, be analyzing it and using that as part of our predictive analysis in terms of our law enforcement response. It's going to play a huge role in what we do every single day. The drone technology that we have today can go in now and do survey work that used to take our survey crews weeks to do. It can do it in 4 minutes. That type of realization of real-time data is going to change the way we think and operate, certainly on law enforcement, fire and rescue, but you're going to see that get blended into all the engineering disciplines as well. I'm as excited as I can be about it. I do worry about the cost, but there also should be personnel savings as well. So our goal is to use those personnel savings to fund into those areas of cyber intelligence, artificial intelligence, and other technologies.
Well, the investment of technology has helped shape how we Americans expect to do business every day, and ordinarily that's through our cell phone. To this end, Northport offers online business licensing and online permitting now. An app for reporting issues to the city is being refined so that it can be rolled out to our citizens, and the app will allow for reporting issues 24/7, 365. Northport utilizes technology in our policing efforts along with the other government partners so that we can monitor vehicles in and passing through our jurisdiction. And we utilize social media platforms to help develop the identities of suspects. We also collaborate on data gained from shell casings found at crime scenes through a national database, and other technologies that benefit crime detection and prevention. Technologies such as GPS units and cameras on our garbage trucks allow us to know where our crews are at any given time and if they're having any problems that need to be addressed. All departments within Northport rely on technology for the service provided and being able to deliver those services in a manner that is more convenient to our citizens.
Yep.
Good question. We're just starting to figure out where this could go, and that's not figured out yet. I think we're just starting to understand how this can change the way we deliver services. Some examples of things that are already underway that employ artificial intelligence. One, it creates new economic opportunities. We have a defense contractor in town that specializes in artificial intelligence. Very supportive of their efforts, doing very unique work for this nation. Well, there is problems on the horizon, especially in warfare, that only can be handled through artificial intelligence due to the speed and the volume of what we deal with today. It's not humanly possible to react and make decisions. That's what we're up against with some of our adversaries. So we've got to change how we do warfare. We have people in town that are working on that problem. Of course, that's an economic issue that drives local public safety. There's a lot of artificial intelligence that's starting to be utilized in trying to get smarter data mining operations to solve crime and prevent more violent crime. I see that as another element. There are basic service delivery functions that's going to touch all of our lives, and the way that documents are prepared, the way that even phone systems work when you're trying to get some information. We all get frustrated with that, but AI is touching a lot of things that we don't realize already. we'll be studying and adapting into the new environment too, but it's going to be a significant change for us in the next decade, I do believe.
Nationally, a lack of affordable housing is having a negative impact on recruiting new industry and workforce. What solutions can we propose locally to address affordable and workforce housing?
It is a challenge, and with the rates and again the inflationary environment we've been in, it is a challenge, especially for our young people, first-time home buyers. I think back to going through that, and I bought a home when I was working, and I was single at that time, first home, and I remember what a challenge it was getting that done the first time. Today, it's probably 4 times as hard for young people to step out and meet the requirements to be able to obtain their first home. It's something that we've got to keep getting creative. We have some builders in town that keep coming up with some new solutions and ways to bring affordability back in the mix. But everything's expensive, and the rates are not where we need to be. I think that we just need to keep doing all that. There's no great solution because this is a macro issue across the whole nation. Tuscaloosa is not exempt from that. But as we grow, I think it will continue. The good news on this is we have a lot of undeveloped land. We have a lot of ability to grow and support that. How we make home prices get to where they're attainable, that's a bigger question, and I don't have that answer. But I think there's a lot of folks continuing to work and dedicated to creating options, more flexible options and affordable options for people here in the community.
Cool. Looking down the road, what initiatives do you see as potential rallying points for all local governments to work together to accomplish?
Well, there are a lot of them. I think that we have such overlap. We're seeing significant growth in our 2 major municipalities, City of Tuscaloosa, and the City of Northport, and some growth in the City of Tuscaloosa. The county as a whole continues to grow. So we work closer together. One of the obvious and existing ways that we collaborate more than ever is public safety. Our co-located 911 center is the largest in the country, the state. It is all agencies working out there. We are strategically working toward more collaboration across agencies, getting that information that flows better for better responses, because crime, medical emergencies, they don't care what jurisdiction it's in. It's just you've got to get the right assets, the nearest available units to the need, whether it's medical or a crime situation when it occurs at all hours of the day. So those types of metro units and collaborative co-located units are really important in public safety. I think that working in a medical environment with our clinics and ways to partner and create new solutions in medicine for the community is another area that I see starting to emerge, and it's an exciting opportunity. I could go on with the list. I think our tourism, that's another one. The group we have at Tourism Today, Visit Tuscaloosa, is setting new records of the way they collaborate across all of the jurisdictions and highlight assets all over this county. That's good to see. So I think there's more collaborative opportunities than ever before in the county, and a lot of folks trying to figure out ways to work together better.
Just a couple more. Please describe the vision that you have for Synergic Center and how it will be best utilized to benefit the community.
So we have a new project that we are starting to discuss. We've been very busy kind of trying to get it built out and programmed. We acquired an old call center that was vacated during COVID when the call center model changed, and it was heading toward blight. Big call centers are kind of a thing of the past. But we had some ideas, and we wanted to address some contemporary issues and needs in the community. So the commission was very supportive of purchasing a facility, and that's put under the probate office, and I have a lot of things that I thought we could create over there using a space with great infrastructure and good proximity to downtown, and we've been working on that. We're going to open with probably in January of 25, and it has several components programmed for this facility. It's right off of 5th Street in Northport, across from the old Kentuck location where Northport's building the new recreational facility. You've got a regional training center that will be very focused on public safety, some mental health advanced training for practitioners in the field, with partnerships with Shelton State for adult education, a number of other things. We have the future home of the Law Enforcement Academy for Central and managing North Alabama out of Tuscaloosa. So you're going to see a lot of new and expanded law enforcement training being done here, not only for our people, but bringing people in, which I'm very excited about. I think it's good for the whole community. We have a co-working situation. We have a cyber unit with our sheriff's office that operates there. A lot of pieces. We're kind of looking at an educational component where you look at the past, present day, contemporary issues that we'll be teaching and training and working on solutions for, and what are our future opportunities. A lot of innovation, I think, that we can highlight. The last thing I'll say at this point, the Synergic Center was selected as an Innovate Alabama project, and I'm really glad that Tuscaloosa County has now been designated as the 4th county in Alabama considered an innovative community. And that was a goal, to get plugged in with Innovate Alabama, as that's where people are going that are looking to bring new opportunities and innovation in the state. That's kind of the shopping list of communities. We are now part of that, and we're very happy, and we're excited about what the project's going to turn into in the near future.
Nationally, a lack of affordable housing is having a negative impact on recruiting new industry and workforce. What solutions can we propose locally to address affordable or workforce housing?
That's an extremely difficult question, and under Alabama law, the city has no ability of price controls, and nor should we, by the way. So where can we make the biggest difference? I think one is just ensuring that we're putting our infrastructure where new housing can have an opportunity to grow and develop. That's why you see the city investing into a new $30 million northern sewer line and water line as well. We expect this will grow over the next 50 years, 3,000 more homes in Tuscaloosa. So by placing our infrastructure in key areas, we create more supply. The goal would be the more supply is going to help lower the cost on the other side to make housing affordable. There's not an easy solution to this, but the more housing that you can help encourage to get on the market should have a plus on the other side in terms of lowering the cost. The other thing, though, I think we should have some degree of satisfaction that we are a successful community. We're a community that people want to live in. That creates your housing costs too. If we had low housing costs, then we would probably be a community that's not successful, that has struggling infrastructure, and that you would be begging people to come into. So it's a very difficult but very relevant question of how we approach it into the future. I do hope on the state side and federal side that there are some opportunities. I know the Lieutenant Governor has some ideas about how that can happen, and I do think our state and federal partners can do things on their level to help also encourage and incentivize more affordable housing for the workforce needs.
Northport's in the midst of reviewing our zoning ordinances as part of our comprehensive plan updates. A lot of discussion has been given to housing and affordable housing, but yet not substandard. Making our code clear to understand and similar to that of the city of Tuscaloosa helps to reduce confusion and delay for developers, along with helping to keep prices down. We must strive for affordable housing, but that in no way means substandard housing. Buying a house is ordinarily the largest investment that people make. and we cannot lower building standards in the name of providing affordable housing and then have that housing degrade insubstantially and quickly.
Looking down the road, what initiatives do you see as potential rallying points for all local governments to work together to accomplish?
You know, I think the primary one's going to be where we can help encourage more assets for mental health in Tuscaloosa. I thought the state of the community overall, the discussion on mental health was a healthy one. Everyone who's involved, both the city, the county, our state partners, no one wants this situation. But like other problems that are complex, in terms of mental health, it's not only complex, it's also a funding issue, and where do you put those funding resources? So I think that's going to be one of the great challenges that we face, that I think we can come together. Circling back to the airport, I think that is a community decision that's going to require everyone to come together. And when I say everyone, it's not just the 3 local governments. I think we need to throw in our partners with the university, Shelton State, Stillman College, and what those institutions bring to the table as well. But I think mental health and the state support services in crime, whether it's DA, courts, pardons and parole, correction, and then the airport would be another one. I think there is also, though, and certainly, you would probably be surprised if I didn't mention, it's again, as we talked about in detail at State of the Community, dealing with the internet sales tax issue. It's going to be a big issue for the city in the years ahead. And the last would be healthcare. Continuing to make sure we have the strongest healthcare possible is something we have to have in order to be successful. The last thing that I think is going to be really relevant, and I think September 24th will have a lot to say about that, is what happens with the tax referendum. If it fails, it will set in motion other dominoes that are not going away. And so how will we react and deal with that? It's not my decision and shouldn't be, but yet I'm smart enough to know that, like most things, if that referendum is not successful, those needs that the superintendents talk about, that's not going away and will have to be addressed.
Earlier when we spoke, I mentioned the collaboration as being very important in solving crime. Working together and cohesively will help ensure better results. Other items that need to be addressed include the mental health care system and funding for educational advancement and facilities.
We understand that over the last year, regular monthly meetings have taken place with first responders and leaders from Tuscaloosa County, the City of Tuscaloosa, Northport, 911, EMS, North Star, DCH Emergency Department, North Harbor, and several others. Could you tell us about the favorable impact you see this having among those who are providing life-saving services through our community?
Well, I'm a big proponent of collaborative discussions, especially cross-disciplinary when you're all working on tough challenges. There are some groups that have come together. I know when I was in emergency management, I formed a group, Tuscaloosa Area Government GIS, or TAG GIS, because our geographic information systems need to be working closer together, forming relationships, data exchanges, same kind of thing. We have mental health officers. That is a work group now. That is public safety, law enforcement, City of Tuscaloosa, Northport, the county, University of Alabama. Well, they're specially trained under the probate court, working on mental health issue. Again, come together, let's work with our social workers in North Harbor on an issue. DCH, as they have really started, taking on new opportunities and just doing some really neat things out there. And the CEO, Katrina Kiefer, when she came on and wanted to get to know the community, she started a round of meetings. She asked and met with some of the local elected leadership and whatnot. But having worked in that background, I was like, if you really want to get to the people that run operations and the ones you need to hear from to make real change, you need to talk to the operators, the brass, from fire, police, emergency management, and the list that you gave. And she's like, I would love to do that. And they started with a monthly meeting and then decided to make that a recurring event. And I really, appreciate, but I think the value has been seen for the community on the ER, ambulance turnaround times, the wall time as we call it, just operational impacts across all our public safety have really improved with our hospital thanks to her dedication and the team, our chiefs and folks that will sit down and say, okay, here's a challenge, here's something we would like to work on together, and they have. And I think this is just the beginning of how to collaboratively improve services in that world. So, I think it's a good move with DCH and the whole team in public safety and community.
Can you give us an update on the Sports Illustrated Resort?
It's my understanding they've been meeting with our folks on a pretty routine basis, and that there should be some submittals, building plan submittals by the end of this year. They've also indicated to our team that they plan on begin marketing for a 2026 opening this fall during football season. So I take that as all good signs. I think like a lot of businesses around the nation, they're anxious to see what the Fed's going to be doing in the weeks and months ahead. And that's normal. And I imagine that's going to impact a lot of the timeline moving forward.
Share one takeaway from the Mobile benchmarking trip.
Well, it was always a joy to see Mayor Stimson and what they're doing down in Mobile, and certainly to connect again with Joe Bonner, two longtime friends of mine who are doing extraordinary things. I think the thing in Mobile that really struck me is they took something that's really vital to their economic existence, and that's support, and they've leveraged and built off of that. So as I try to apply that to Tuscaloosa, we know what the university is doing in water, what they're doing in the electrification of the vehicle, and also where they're going in cyber intelligence and other technology and artificial intelligence. Those are three areas that can create thousands of jobs over the next 20 years. How do we leverage that as a community, what the university is doing to create a greater economic impact? I think we can take what Mobile has done at the port and what make the university our port, so to speak, in those technology areas I outlined, and let's go create a lot of jobs.
We want to thank Judge Robertson, Mayor Maddox, and Mayor Hinton for their valuable insights into issues that are deeply affecting West Alabama, along with all of our local elected officials and what they do on a day-to-day basis to impact our community.